Ah, the serenity.
How's the serenity? So much serenity.
So, why am I out in this serene spot? I'm testing my quad for going that extra distance if I have to, because I'm going to Bali on Friday, and I want to make sure that my quad is working good for those, like for pushing that extra distance if I want to. I don't want to go too far because I'm in another country, and if it goes down, I don't want to be spending my time looking for it. But it's just nice to have that extra safety there. So I'm just going to go through quickly how I set up my quad for those extra distance missions. So where do I begin? Okay. First and most important is coffee. Oh, fuck. That's so good. Yeah, so let's get into this. So this is my quad. It's ImpulseRC 5-inch Alien, slammed. And the main difference to this than the normal one I do, like my flippy flops with, it's got the extra length antenna here that sort of sticks away from the carbon, really away from the carbon, gets right away from the frame, and when you're coming back, it's sitting above the GoPro, so you've got good line of sight with your goggle antennas. And got the Immortal T, and I've got it mounted. This is actually different than I used to mount it. This is the first time I'm trying it like this, which is why I'm out here today, just making sure it's going to work. So I've got it at an angle like that, so when you're flying forward it's vertical, so you get no null points anywhere. And so when you're going away from here, you've got full range, and even coming back you got line of sight with it, with your Tyrannus, with your radio, whatever radio you use. I used to put a zip tie, like a heavy duty zip tie, and stick it out the back, so I think this antenna, and run the line across there so it was sticking way away from the frame. But that was just getting annoying. It was probably better, but it was getting annoying. Especially if I decided to use this quad for flipping flops, it'd get into crashes and just mangle up the antenna. It's better here. But the cool thing about that way of doing it was I could pack it up and fold the antenna over here without bending this. This way at the moment, now it sits like if I'm stacking on my backpack, this guy bends over, or if you're putting on the ground, this guy bends over, but it's not a problem. These things are really flexible and springy. Goes right back into shape. Anything different about this? I have a GPS, a little GPS there running into it. Gives I think the GPS for doing the longer missions is much needed. What's really cool about it, it gives you heading, gives you a little home arrow, so if you get lost you can come back straight to you. You can just follow the arrow back. I got the GPS coordinates. Actually, let me just go back for a sec. The home arrow is absolutely fantastic. Last year when I was in Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands, I went to the Las Palomas sand dunes and decided, oh yeah, this would be wicked, fly these sand dunes. And they were cool. However, I got lost because the sand dunes, everything looks the same. Everything looks the same, so you go out and then you got no reference point, and you don't got no reference point where you are, and it's like, yeah, I almost lost the quad. I got it back to me eventually after it seemed like hours, but it was minutes. But the battery was almost dead, and it was a miracle I got it back to me, because just everything looked the same. It's crazy. So a home arrow is really cool for that kind of stuff. So what was I going on next? GPS coordinates. If you go down, they're really good to have. So I got them set up in my OSD and the goggles at the top, so I can see where it went down. And I also have a reserve coordinates going to my Tyrannus as well. So if for whatever reason I forget to press record or it doesn't record, in my DVR. I got the last known coordinates in the trainers too. It's got speed. Don't really need that, but I have it just for coolness factor. And that's about it. Yeah, so let's see how this thing goes. Okay, back again. That wasn't about it. I'll just show you the difference with my goggles that I do when I'm flying further away. I've got these on this pole here because I need my hands to show. Basically, the biggest difference, well, the only difference, uses this patch antenna. I normally use a 8 dBi little Spironet patch antenna, but for longer range I use this guy. It's 13 dBi, I think. Doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's 13 dBi, which means it's got a narrower beam, like when you're closer to you, but as you get out further, that beam widens, and it's obviously 13 dBi. It penetrates a lot further in distance. So you want to make sure your head's up, and this is the right angle, and always pointing towards where your quad is. That's really important, and you don't want your quad to go behind any horizons or ground. You really want to keep good line of sight with it all the time when you're flying further. That's pretty much the most important thing. Yeah, I don't have rapid fire because I'm waiting for TBS. What do they call it? Fusion? Yeah, TBS Fusion. Whew, I think that's going to be wicked. So, yeah, let's get into this now. So, let's plug in. Yeah, shush. It's because I had the battery plugged in just before and unplugged again. That was my Flyduino buzzer. You really want one of those. They're really cool. If your battery happens to disconnect by accident in a crash, then you can find your quad easily. It's beeping away really loud. It also has a like bright LED. What's the word I'm looking for? Bright LED beacon light. Always double strap, people. Always double strap. This is double strap. Make sure that your battery doesn't disconnect. It has to be a hell of a crash to disconnect your battery, especially when you've got the lead strapped down like that. Make sure it's nicely balanced, and we are ready to rock and roll. Long range we go. Long range test. Everything's looking good. 17 satellites, all look good. Alright, I'll talk to you as we're flying along. So, taking off. I'll go through all my OSD that I have set up for this quad. So as you can see in the top left there, the very top left, I have my satellite connection. So I'm connected to 18 satellites by the looks of it, which is fantastic because I think, 19. I think that's the maximum satellites. Top middle is the GPS coordinates, very important. Not while you're flying, but important just in case you go down. Top far right is my heading, so I'm heading south, as you can see. Middle section, top middle left is kilometers per hour. Not really needed, but it's the cool factor that makes it cool. And I'm heading at a steady 75 kilometers an hour. Middle left is my meters. Now I've got that above sea level at the moment. I'm not actually flying 255 meters high from me. Probably should change that to takeoff level for a better reference point. And bottom middle left is my heading, home arrow, which is very important for getting back, especially if you don't know where you are. Look at that. We've hit 1.8 kilometers. That's fantastic. And video's excellent. I gotta turn around too. 1.9. I can't go any further than that because there's houses and I do not want to be flying above houses. So turn around and video is looking fantastic. Top right is my RSII, 99% on the Crossfire is excellent. Then you don't want to see that dip below 80. Middle right is battery, 14.7. So yep, just about time to turn around, which I've done. And bottom right is milliamp hours used. I'm on a 1200 milliamp hour battery. So I don't, not 1200, 1500 milliamp hour battery, which you don't want to be using more than 1200 milliamps for good battery care. Bottom far left is my milliwatts for my VTX. I'm using a Tramp VTX, so 600 is the max. You don't really need more than 600. Then my call sign, and bottom right is a channel. Now, just to give a quick example, I'm at a good line of sight here, so I've got good video, but there's like hills in front of me. If I dip down, see that? If I dip down and lose line of sight, all this static and stuff is bad. So you always want to keep good line of sight. And we head back, follow the arrow. And getting back close now. I think I can start hearing, yep, I can hear the quad. Give it a pass. I can hear. A little bit right because that's where I am, and I see me again, and the battery's starting to warn me that it's low, and that was the perfect distance for that battery. Oh, that was a bad landing.
Milliamp hours.
And there we go. That was a good test. I am happy with that. That's going to be perfect for me in Bali. I won't be flying out that far, but it's good to know that I've got a good setup to go some, like, you know, meaty distances and feel safe. So yeah, that's my long range mission setup for you. Hope you enjoyed that. Laters.